Tip number 178 from the book 501 Contractor Tips. Job site injuries will probably affect your workers' compensation premiums, what you're going to pay, which of course translates into less money you will make. Now, it's not hard to figure out. It's kind of like the police. The workers' compensation insurance basically forces you to be safe. And that's a good thing, because there are some people who are not safe. And even when I first started working in construction, I wasn't the safest guy around. Nowadays, I look at some of these construction sites and what's required of them. I'm just totally amazed that they have to do all this stuff. You know, when I worked in construction, you didn't have to wear a hard hat until later on, maybe in the late 90s. And you could wear shorts, and now you got to wear long pants. You could have your dog on the job. Now no dogs. You can listen to radio. Now you can't listen to radio. You got to wear a protective vest, a fluorescent vest, work boots. You know, when I worked, you could wear tennis shoes. Now, if you have your own company, then you can do what you want, you as the individual. But you can't let your workers do, you know. And again, you might need to be the example for them if this is the case. If you're a contractor who's actually working with your employees, you're going to have to be the example. But if you're like, for me, if I was going to go do some remodeling or stuff like that, I'm not going to, for one, I'm not dealing with workers' compensation. I don't have any workers. But, and again, this is something you need to think about, need to consider. Because if you don't want to do this, if you want to go to work in your short pants and tennis shoes, and maybe take your shirt off, you don't want to wear any of this protective gear, no hard hats, safety glasses, stuff like that, then feel free to. You're not on the same path. You're not, you know, that these other people are. But if you're hiring employees, it's a totally different game, and you'd better understand that. And if you're one of those hip contractors who's going to, hey, I'm not worried about that, go ahead, you don't have to wear your hard hat. Trust me, if you're not self-policing your construction company's safety, and someone gets hurt, you're going to be hit with a big payment, or increased, your percentages are going to go up, then it's going to be an eye-opener for you. So don't get caught up in that. If your insurance company, liability or workers' compensation has specific rules, you'd better understand and follow them. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. I mean, there's one thing to get hurt while following all of the safety rules and regulations. That's one thing. It's another thing, totally different, to get hurt if you are not following those rules and regulations. So there's two different things there. If someone gets injured and it's an accident and it's something that the insurance company's going to look at and say, wait, that was an accident, they might not increase your premiums. But I'll guarantee you it's going to be a totally different thing if you're not following all of their rules and regulations and someone gets hurt. So just consider that. The last thing you want to do is have your premiums at 200%. That sounds like I'm making it up, right? I actually knew a construction company who was paying 200% in workers' compensation because they'd had too many accidents. They almost had 100 employees. A lot of employees, a lot of work. And almost every month, someone was getting injured. It was a bad injury. Well, they actually raised their premiums. So could you imagine actually staying in business with something like that? I can't. Or the fact that it actually got to be that high. So for every $1,000 you pay, you're paying $2,000 in workers' compensation fees. That doesn't take a lot. You cannot be competitive with something like that.